everybody, welcome back for another video. Dosage matters when it comes to OC powder and OC sprays, and the amount that you take in is really important. If you receive, like the guy in the video, he was hit at his feet with maybe 2 of these. They were fired. When these things are fired one at a time, yeah, any one of these, if you breathe in all of the contents of this and you really get exposed to it in the right place, in the perfect manner, and the wind is not a problem, one of these is enough to really deter a person who's not resistant to it. But in reality, if you're outside and you're standing on the street like the guy you just saw in the video, and you shoot 2 of these, or you shoot the 5 of these at his feet, the wind is blowing. I really don't think you're going to have a big impact. This is even though it seems like a lot and it's marketed as, oh, you have a mag full of these, you can really deter a person. You saw the guy drinking his drink. He really did not have a big concern about those PepperBalls. Did not bother him. He was casually strolling away from the area, but it was not an issue. So my point of this video is that there are better ways to use OC, and you need to achieve a higher dosage in terms of getting it into the target organs. And these, even though the theory behind delivering these is a great idea, and on a single PepperBall basis, delivering these one at a time is not a very efficient, and it's not a very effective way to deter someone. And especially delivering these from a small pocket launcher like the TCP or like a Berna. In theory, if you look at videos and you look at promotional videos, yeah, they're going to portray this as being something that's going to be highly effective, but in reality, it's not. And you just have to be honest about that. In order to really be effective, law enforcement and military have to use foggers. They use an OC spray that is in a canister, and they throw it at the subjects, and then it releases the fog. And that definitely works. And so I got a video I'm going to show you here, and we're going to look at it, of at least 2 examples of where these foggers were used, and people got exposed, and they had side effects, and there was a lot of issues. And so there's a lot of interesting biology going on in those people. But let's watch and listen carefully, because some of this is you have to listen to the sounds of the coughing and the pain and the screaming. It's sort of it's not as visual, but you have to listen. So pay attention to the sound. All right, so there's not a lot of talking in this video in terms of the police. You will hear a guy over a megaphone. He's talking to try to calmly get the guy to come out, walk away from his door. He's barricaded in an apartment down at the end of the hallway. And they're threatening him of giving him more of the hot sauce. I mean, they've already hit him with some, and he's in pain. And they're going to give him another canister of this fogger of the OC, and they're getting it ready right here.
I told you it's over. You have to give up now. Slowly put your hands up, and I can still guarantee your safety. Do it now. Walk towards the door slowly with your hands up, holding nothing in your hand. Do it now, Laurent.
There's the fogger. He's got it in his hand now. They're getting ready to push in, and he's going to throw it down the hallway here in a minute.
Okay, Laurent, you're doing really good. Come on back slowly. Walk slowly towards the front door of the hallway. Walk backwards. Laurent, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse, and that's true. The guy is already in pain. They've already put some shots down. Here they go. They're ready to deploy. All right. And so now if you listen carefully, I'm going to try not to talk here. Just listen.
Walk backwards, Laurent. I know it hurts. That window is not going to help you. You have to come to the hallway. There's nothing in the hallway. Make your way to the hallway slowly. You can do it, Laurent. Once you get to the hallway, I'll be right there to help you. Come out to the hallway. Slowly walk backwards, Laurent. Not the
So he did not leave, and this is the guys across the street. It's a sniper, and they have him in their sights, and he's at a window basically starting to stick his head out. He's wanting to try to climb out. Let's listen to them for a minute.
Sure, 3, it looks like he's trying to climb out the window. Oh. Series 3, he is trying to climb out the window, and one leg on the ledge.
So as a reminder, he was armed and he fired. Now here's another point of view taken by a pedestrian on the street. There he is at the window. When he fires a shot, they fire a shot, and that's all. So that was the first example, and it didn't work out the way you would have wanted it to work out. He was not compliant, and he did not go the direction that you wanted him to go because he wasn't completely boxed in. He had a little window to try to get some air, and he was going to try that first, and that's what he did. But now I got a second example for you, and this is another set of body cams from the Capitol riots where there was a lot of gas in the air. OC was all around, and the fogger was being used. And there was a lot of misunderstanding by the Capitol Police in terms of understanding the effects, in terms of not wearing masks, and also understanding what happens when you get this stuff on your hands. And you'll know what I mean if you listen carefully to the very beginning here. 2 guys had very serious side effect as a result from getting it on their hands. And let's take a look and see what happens there. And then listen as we follow an officer walking through the basement of the Capitol after he has tried to go outside and he gets exposed and he has to come back in, and there are a lot of people exposed. This is the kind of results that you get with a fogger when there's a high enough amount of it all around. So let's take a look.
Do we have access to some sort of medic? This is... It's really bad. I just thought I'd ask.
Hey, is the medical system?
They're over on the independent side.
Okay, go.
Yeah, what's wrong? What happened?
I didn't wash my hands first, and I fucking pissed. And got OC on my dick. Like a lot.
Oh my god, yeah, go.
Alright, independent side, where's that?
Come on.
So that was 2 separate guys. Each had the same problem. They went to the bathroom, did not wash their hands and get the OC off first, and they had a bad day the rest of the day. Now, here's the example of the officer walking out, and he thought he could go out without a mask on. There's fog everywhere with OC powder, and then watch how quickly he retreats. That was it. So he was already coughing as he went up the stairs. He walked over right where the cloud was, immediately turned around and goes back, and now he's coughing and coughing and coughing. And it's pretty bad down here as well. These are all the people. You can see them holding their heads, bending over, coughing. These guys were the guys that got hit so bad they had to retreat to the basement of the Capitol. All right, so those are the video examples I got for you on this one. As you can see, lots of coughing, lots of a desire to get away. I imagine the face and the eyes were burning. And of course, the guys who made the mistake of having their hands exposed with OC and going to the restroom, no, that was a mistake. And these guys were in pain. I can't imagine what kind of day those guys were having. I think it was bad enough for the guys who were coughing, and you see the guys on the ground trying to get their breath. it really affected a lot of people. And like I talked about in my PepperBalls 101 video, there are systemic effects that happen when you're breathing it in and breathing it in and breathing it in. You're getting essentially a too high of a dose to the point where it's getting into your systemic system and it's having other effects. But the eye and the face, you know, don't have supreme confidence that a PepperBall or a mag of PepperBalls is going to save you or stop someone. I think I've shown enough videos at this point of PepperBalls to the chest or PepperBalls all around where it was still not sufficient. And I think we have to just remember police use them in a specific situation to achieve an objective, and it may fail a lot of the time. But then other times when the person is completely enclosed and can't get out, it can work and bring them out. And of course, those examples are out there and you can see those examples. But there are also times where firing one of these to the chest, perfect example, but the person may not comply. And so getting that fog is the only way that in large scale they can do crowd control, and that's obvious. But just be realistic about your expectations of what you can get. The amount of cloud that you can get from this is insignificantly small compared to the cloud that you would get from a fogger. Now, of course, civilians, there's very little to zero reason for a civilian to use a fogger. We don't need, it's just, that's not the way it works. So I'm not saying that go out and get one, because I don't think that they're available for civilians. I think they're for police and these kind of situations of crowd control or getting someone out that's barricaded, who's armed, and it's a really effective tool for that, and that's what it's for. And but I think it does show you what works really well, and then things that work under very specific, perfect conditions. And so just be aware. When you look at marketing by various products and many different companies, and I'm not in any way affiliated with PepperBall brand, but that's the ones that I have. There are a lot of them out there now. The OC and the percentage of capsaicin is very similar among all of them. They're not going to vary widely. They're all going to be very similarly effective, but the quality of the balls and their integrity, their structural integrity may vary. I know that these are very structurally safe and intact. They're not going to break easily. I've even shot them on a lot of different targets and even some soft targets where they don't break. So these are the ones that are well built, and they're great for your more higher power launchers. But they are limited, so just keep an open mind about that and use the right approach. If you need to use kinetic, use kinetic. Use these under very specific circumstances, and I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the future. So I'm going to hold it right there, and I welcome your comments, and everybody just take care. We'll see you in the next one.